Iga Swiatek is your queen of clay, and rightfully so with all the success she's had over the last few years on the clay courts. But here's the question that I'm raising here today as we get closer to Madrid and Rome and the French Open. And that question is Iga Swiatek vulnerable on clay this year? Now, guys, the short answer to that question is yes, at least as far as my opinion goes. Just look at last year at the Olympic Games. Now, granted, she was coming off of Wimbledon, where she didn't play very well in that tournament. She was a little burnt out at that moment in time. But, guys, she ended up winning the bronze there, where she was the big, heavy favorite, losing to Qinwen Zhang in the semifinals there. Of course, Zhang goes on to win the gold. But still, that showing right there just, I think, tells you what you need to know is if Iga Swiatek is vulnerable on this clay season. Not to mention, she also lost last year to Elena Rybakina in a tune-up tournament before we got to those WTA 1000 events. But still, the other thing, guys, that we have to remember, too, is, all right, there was the Olympic Games that maybe didn't go as planned, but she did win the French Open after all. Remember that matchup with Naomi Osaka in last year's French Open, though, guys? Remember, the roof got closed in, and it gave it more of that hardcore type of a feel to the clay courts, and remember, Osaka, guys, really dominated that matchup. Probably should have won, but Iga Swiatek never said die. Was able to dig down deep and get the win. So that's the other thing to take in consideration here. If we're going to see some weather, and that's, again, so far away, the French Open, but there's going to be some weather. We see the courts get closed in. Is there reason for concern there for Iga Swiatek? Now, as we get closer to the French Open, I think we'll get more of a feel. But right now, sitting here, not having that crystal ball, just looking at, as we get closer again to Madrid, Rome, and the French Open, I think there are maybe some vulnerabilities. Of course, we haven't seen Iga Swiatek win a tournament yet here in 2025. So again, so many different reasons I think you could have for maybe some concern for Iga Swiatek on clay. Now, here's the one thing I am going to say just before I wrap things up. Granted, I said yes, she's vulnerable on clay, and I still feel that way for sure. The other question becomes, guys, is she still the absolute favorite? Do we think she's going to win the French Open? And yeah, the answer is also yes to that too. I mean, she's been so dominant on this clay surface over the years. You have to give Iga Swiatek all the credit in the world. It's definitely a surface that jives with her game. It's one that she's figured out, and she's dominated over the last few years. And yes, with all that stuff there, she is still the favorite. Everybody's going to be chasing Iga Swiatek down. Swiatek's going to be the person that has to lose it on her own, in my opinion. But still, guys, there are definitely some vulnerabilities out there. I think players maybe don't fear her maybe as much this year as maybe they did in the past at these clay courts, but still, Iga Swiatek, it does not take much. She wins one clay court tournament before this French Open, and maybe any of those vulnerability conversations going to be completely out the window. So we'll see how it all plays itself out for Iga. It's going to be a fun clay season. I can't see it's all going to play itself out. Iga's going to be such a big presence here on clay, so let's see how it goes. Guys, do me a favor before you head out. Like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll have continued coverage of the 2025 tennis season right here.